Hey YouTube, everybody, doing my research on the needful buildings and forts and armories and stuff lined out in the Constitution, and I started doing some research on our infamous local BLM building. And of course, as we learned on the Green Dragon the other night, property records are pretty public. So, doing my research, looking up where our BLM office is, and finding out, at first I figured they had just taken some public land and put a building on it. No, that wasn't the case. It is a privately held property that is apparently leased, I would imagine, that has been through several property owners. I kind of did a little, it's got the list of property owners prior to, and it goes back to 1980s. And you can see 79 was the first documented here. And I just did a little research on that, just kind of get an idea of maybe who we're dealing with. But not anybody in particular, like corrupt officials or anything that I could find. But the improvement of the property was done in 97, that's when the building was put up here. So that's when all these improvements were made. And anybody that knows the local history of the area knows that was immediately after the December 96, January 97 flood. I don't know if the old BLM office was here. I didn't see any records of that. And I'm pretty sure there was nothing here before 97, I don't believe. So this BLM office was put in right after the flood. I'm sure they got a bargain basement deal on improving land that's on, obviously, a floodplain, which they've done some improvements, it looks like, probably to build it up, as you can see here, to get it up off of next to the river so that, a 20-year flood won't take it out, but maybe a 100-year or whatever probably would. But I was scratching my head like, well, they didn't pay the state for the land. It's not on what they classify as public federal land. So where do they get the authority to, lease land? I didn't read that in the Constitution. The federal government should have the authority, or the Congress has the authority to lease land for needful buildings. No, I'm sure it should have to purchase it from the state. Federal government was never given any authority to enter into contracts with private citizens to provide for needful buildings, armories, and magazines. No, that wasn't in there either. So, found that interesting. Another conflict, I believe. Another unconstitutional action. And this is just one set of buildings. This isn't, what would we call it? It's not like it's, imagine the hundreds of buildings out there that the federal government possesses or leases on private property that's not purchased from the state like it was directed to be. So more infringement, more unconstitutionality. That's all you can pretty much say about that. All right, YouTube. More to follow on the march from Elko here to Carson City in protest of the BLM, and it's primarily focused at the Battle Mountain office, but they're all intertwined. I know we know that. So more to follow on that. I get as much information out on that as I can this weekend. Everybody have a good weekend, and go out and remember the reason for the weekend of Memorial Day. Live free.